is when you're not a speaker, mute your microphone so it doesn't create disruption for those who are speaking. Second thing is so that the speakers can see how well they're doing maintaining eye contact. Keep your videos on as much as possible. And I know it's not always possible to do that, but just keep it on so they can draw that. And then our ground rules for the types of speaking is to stay away from controversial subjects like sex, politics, and religion. For the theme for today is mentoring and the mentee. Our pleasure now is to introduce the president of our club, Sabita Sefa. So, Sabita, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sadhanadams, distinguished Toastmaster Dave Shazil. Welcome everyone to our Sparkling Advanced Toastmasters monthly meeting. And good morning and good evening to everyone from wherever you are. And I would like to welcome few of our welcomed guests, Toastmaster Chaturani, welcome in our club meeting. And I can see as a grammarian, Toastmaster Dao Singh, welcome to our club meeting. And we have a very special person for our sparkling meetings as the sparkler today. Probably DTM Lawrence will join with us. And we can see that DTM Lawrence already joined with us. Welcome DTM Lawrence with us in our Sparkling Advanced Toastmasters. Nice to see you all. So now we are going to start our meeting, and the person going to take forward the meeting, the TMOD today, is someone who is a very dedicated person. He is the current VP membership of our Sparkling Club, and he has connected with other 2 or 3 clubs also. So let's welcome our today's Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abu Sadat Masum, to take the lead for our today's meeting. It's over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster, Club President of Sparkling Advanced Toastmaster Club. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 31st meeting of Sparkling Advanced Toastmaster Club. Today, our meeting theme is mentor and mentee. As a Toastmaster, we all know about mentorship and about mentee. Before being a Toastmaster, I had a couple of people who always helped me in my life, in my job, in my family, in my university life. But I never thought their impact in my life in this way. But after being a Toastmaster, now when I think about it, I feel that yes, there are some people always who helped me in my life. They are my mentor. They were my mentor. Now, what is a mentorship? Who is a mentor? A mentor is someone who helps us, to help the mentee to achieve their life goals. Might be job goal, career goal, personal goal, family goal, and everything. But I'm not going to talk a lot about this in my 2-minute speech, because today I have a speech about Toastmaster mentoring. So what I will do, I'll shorten my 2-minute speech about mentorship. So before I finish, I just want to ask someone, as I am not talking much and I will talk about this later, to say 1 minute about mentoring. I like to request Toastmaster Nasir Siddiqui to talk 1 minute that how Toastmaster mentoring helped him as a Toastmaster, become a better Toastmaster. Toastmaster Nasir, can you please talk about 1 minute that how you got help from different Toastmasters?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. So you always need someone experienced to grow as a person, be it in Toastmasters or outside Toastmasters. So when it comes to Toastmasters, I became Toastmaster around 2 years ago. So in this journey, I came to know a lot of Toastmasters, but there are some Toastmasters who helped me a lot to think deeply about the learning, how to grow. And if I have to talk about a mentor, there is Toastmaster Shifa here, and also our TTM there, and with whom I'm in constant touch, and I seek his guidance when it comes to writing a script, when it comes to table topic or whatever the confusion I have. He's always just a call away or just a knock away from WhatsApp. So I think it's important to know before you play the game. So distinguished Toastmaster Dayaratna is like a game changer in when it comes to Toastmasters. He will give you some solid advice. He's not going to tell you a lot of things, but he will give you some solid advice with which you can make serious impact and you see the improvement if you continuously acknowledge take his advice seriously. So I believe mentor-mentee relationship is important, and if you have a good mentor, your journey is easy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nasir. Although you had 1 minute, but you had explained really well. Yes, we all know the name of those Toastmasters and many also other Toastmaster who is helping us a lot. So this is all about my Toastmaster of the day speech. Now let's begin the meeting. Now the next person who is going to come to us is the general evaluator. But before that, I like to tell you that in a Toastmaster meeting, there are three different parts, but we had 4 because we also have a sparkler. After that, the prepared speech session, then of course the table topic session, and then evaluation. So before I call our general evaluator, DTM Carl, I want to call DTM HB Dayaratne for a special reason, to give him 1 minute, because today we are going to do something different about the evaluation process. I thought I will explain this as a Toastmaster of the day, but I felt that as he is the one who started this, he will be better to explain this with all of the club members. So I want to request our DTM HB Dayaratne to come to the virtual floor for 1 minute and explain the new process of evaluation. DTM HB Dayaratne.
Yes, I'll try my best to finish the explanation in 1 minute. Usually we had one standard speech evaluator for each speech, and then 3 round robin evaluators to give 1 recommendation each. But during the last year, we found out that it was not so effective. Therefore, after discussing with the members, we decided that we will have 2 to 3 minutes speech evaluators for the same speech, by dividing the total areas to evaluate. Namely, the first evaluator will look into the contents of the speech, how it is organized, the structure, the support materials, etc. While the second evaluator will look about the delivery, the body language, the usage of the screen, the facial expressions, voice variation, etc. So each evaluator will have a better analytical facility to analyze the speech in a better way and give feedback to the speaker so that he can improve very effective. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, DTM HB Dayaratne, for being so efficient. So I think we all have some idea about what is going to be the evaluation process from today for our club, and we will give, and of course we will see the example of the evaluation process today at the at the evaluation part of our today's meeting. So now let's welcome to the general evaluator, DTM Carl, into the virtual floor to explain the role of his and also his team. T.M. Carl, the virtual floor is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. The evaluation session of our meeting comes in several parts. Already, Toastmaster H.B. Dayaratne has described what may appear to be an anomalous way of giving evaluations. We're going to try it out and see how it works. There are several parts of the evaluation. One of those is the timer. And the timer today is Toastmaster, I want to make sure I try to pronounce it right, Chaturani Gunathilak. Okay. Tell me if I did that right or explain it. And please explain how timing will work.
Good evening and good morning to all. Today I'm your timer. As timer, I will type the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards. I will change my background colors. Green, yellow, red, like that. Then for the table topic speakers, I will raise green card at 1 minute and 1 minute and 30 seconds. I will raise the yellow card, and also in 2 minutes I will show you red card. And you can have extra 30 seconds to complete your speech. And also for the prepared speech session, according to today's agenda, sparkler speech and 2 prepared speeches. For the sparkler speech, 10 minutes and 12.5, 15 respectively, green, yellow, and red cards I will show you. For the prepared speech, speaker 1, 10 minute green, 11 minute yellow, 12 minute red. Likewise, prepared speech 2, 5 minute green, 6 minute yellow, and 7 minute red. For the evaluation sessions, in the 2 minute green, 2.5 yellow, 3 minute red, like that for the content and delivery both. That's all. For the prepared speech session also, you can have an extra 30 seconds than the allocated time to complete your speech. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Next one to introduce, I see that the person slated for our counter has not arrived. So I'm going to ask the grammarian, can you take on the counter duties as well? The grammarian is Das Singh. Please explain your role.
Good evening. Thank you so much, General Evaluator, for giving me the chance to speak for a while. And hello to all of the Toastmasters and the guests who are present here. As a grammarian, my role in this session is to pay very much close attention to all speakers and listening to all of you very carefully to notice the use of languages. I will take note of your languages and any grammatical errors or any outstanding words or quotes you will be using while speaking. As a grammarian, at the end of the session, I will submit my report to the General Evaluator. Apart from this, in this session, my role is also to introduce the word of the day. I have decided a word, and that is ameliorate. So today's word of the day is ameliorate, which refers to do better or to improve. I will give you an example. I want to ameliorate my way of speaking skill by watching TEDx on regular basis. So here I used ameliorate, right? Another example might be, we should do exercise to ameliorate our health condition. So these two were my examples. I would like to request all of you to use this word while speaking, and I will also take notes in this regard. And thank you so much. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Tess. Thank you, Grammarian. The situation regarding our counter has been ameliorated. The counter has arrived. Counter Archana, please describe your role.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster. Good morning and good evening, fellow Toastmasters, friends and guests. My role as a hard counter is to count the number of unnecessary sounds or repetitive words you used when you are speaking on screen. For an example, so, you know, I mean, will be counted. These are the filler words would affect your effectiveness in delivering your speech. At the end of the meeting, I will be back on screen and present my report to you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. Now I return the lectern to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abu Sadat Masoom.
Thank you so much, DTM Count, for the wonderful explanation of you and your team of their role. Okay, now let's begin our club meeting. The first speech of Sparkling Advanced Toastmaster Club is Sparkler speech. And today we got one special guest as our Sparkler. Our Sparkler today is DTM Lawrence Madapatha. If I say the name wrong, please forgive me.
Yes, you are correct.
Charter President, BEPZ Toastmasters, mentor for Putulam, Chul Harba, and Sathal Waka Toastmaster Club. Sorry, difficult for me to say those names. Past area director and division director, studied 14 years in Toastmasters. He holds a degree in civil engineering from University of Paradenia, master's degree from on environment, water resource engineering and management from University of Moratoa, MBA from University of Wamba. Currently, he is working as the executive director, Jones, Board of Investments of Sri Lanka. If I read the entire profile, it will take 10 minutes. So I'm stopping right now. Now everybody, Toastmasters, please welcome the sparkler of our today's meeting, DTM Lawrence. Exponential growth of a professional. Exponential growth of a professional, DTM Lawrence. Button floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster, for very nice introduction. Even though that's short, so then that inspired itself at the beginning. So thank you very much, DTM Dayaratna, for inviting me for this very special session in Sparkling Advanced Toastmasters Club, which is 1,000 miles away from my country, but I'm very happy to be with you all today. Couple of years ago, so that was around 15 years ago, nearly 15 years ago, I got a call from one of my friends. And she asked, Lawrence, do you like to join for a Toastmasters Club? We are going to have a Toastmasters Club. So then I asked, when is going to be? It's going to be on next Sunday. That was her answer. Sunday, at what time? Sunday evening. So then Sunday evening club. So I got a message that is going to be another fantastic evening where I can connect with my people, engage with my people, my friends and then enjoy. Then I, without any hesitation, I told her, okay, I will join. I went there sharp at 4:30. Then it was not the atmosphere that I expected to participate. When I went there and understood the entire different audience, there were strangers from Colombo Toastmasters Club with some other clubs. So they have come to an auditorium in Kurunegala city where I'm living right now. Then we started this first meeting of our Toastmasters. After a couple of minutes, I understood that it's a strange place, strange people, strange movement, strange stories, strange evaluations, impromptu speeches. Lot of things are happening. That was the place I was desperately looking for, I understood. Because being an engineer, I always did all the hard work behind the screen. I never came forward to speak in front of an audience. So I understood in the very first meeting which I participated, this is the right place that I can transform myself as a different person. In our country, normally engineers are always doing hard work, but they never come forward and express their ideas. That was the first turning point of my life to change as a different person. I was working as a civil engineer where I was giving more technical inputs for projects. Under my purview, there were 2 industrial zones in my country. At that time, I was a manager for that those 2 zones. And then in addition to that, I was giving technical inputs to different industries in the region. But with this transformation of Toastmasters, I understood that I can go beyond the limits that I have been doing. That was the first experience I got from Toastmasters. After that, I thought to continue with Toastmasters. My dear friends, in any profession, the initial decision to take and initiate something new is very important for you to become an exponential leader. The first decision I took was to initiate something new. What was that new? Is Toastmasters. With the Toastmasters skills, I became a different person, different speaker, different leader in my profession. And then I tried to inculcate and practice all what I learned in Toastmasters in my professional career. Not only in the professional career, in my personal life. After a couple of years of my Toastmaster journey, my wife also became a Toastmaster. So that was a funny thing, right? Even in the morning, so then we were talking about Toastmasters, not anything else, right? So early in the morning, we wake up and then prepare in our meals. So then we talk about Toastmasters. How was the last Toastmaster meeting and the evaluation that was given, and how was the round robin session, right? A lot of things to talk. Otherwise, it was a little bit boring while scraping coconuts and preparing other vegetables, things to cook, right? But when I became a Toastmaster with my family, my wife, it was a fantastic environment in the home. So after a couple of years, my eldest completed his advanced level. Then I asked him to join as a Toastmaster. Now he is a well-experienced Toastmaster. He is the public relation manager of one of the areas in District 82. So he's doing really well. And not only that, he became the best leader of his university. He's in the 3rd year of university now. He became best speaker, best leader in his faculty, that because of the communication and leadership skills. Look at the transformation of a person. I started my journey as a Toastmaster, and then I connected with my family members, and then I got my wife and then my eldest, and all became Toastmasters. When I connected my all initiated activities with my professional life, it was a totally different scenario. I still can remember one day in one of the memos which was written by one of my officers in the zone, I wrote down fantastic memo that you have written. I appreciate hard work you have done, but these are the areas that we have to improve. She came with crying eyes. I saw his tears, and then he told me, so I have been working for this organization for many years. It's my 20th year. But this is the first time my work has been appreciated by my boss. Not only that, you have given me the recommendations. Where did I get that inputs? That is because I am a Toastmaster. I got all these inputs from Toastmasters. When we do a speech, so then there is an evaluation. When we do any role in Toastmasters fraternity, there's a good evaluation. Based on that, we can develop ourselves. But my dear friends, development only ourselves is not enough as Toastmasters. In our core values, we know that we have to engage with people, and then we have to service the people. How can we give that service to the people? That service can be given if we practice real Toastmaster values in our professional life. So that is what I am doing in my professional life always. I use all Toastmasters agenda preparation and then the meeting techniques. Not only that, even the evaluation criteria, what we practice, everything in my professional life. That transformed me in a different way. As a different person, I got a lot of opportunities to participate in different conferences, different conventions in all over the world. Not as a Toastmaster, even in my professional life as a presenter. As a presenter to promote investment to my country. Look at the decision I took to change myself. What I did for that, I initiate some of the remarkable activities, remarkable journey of Toastmasters. Not only that initiation, then I connected those values with my personal and professional life. Right? Remember the first letter I, that is initiate something new. Initiate something new, and then not only initiation is enough, you have to connect with your activities, your daily activities, daily life, what you are doing, the right values, right learning points in your day-to-day activities. Then the other word I'm going to talk about is connect. So then we have to connect and then engage. We connect what we learn, and then we have to engage with the people. How can we engage with the people? How can we engage? We can engage with the people with our words. Words are much more powerful. With your words, you can do wonders. Let me take one example. You know, we all are facing a serious pandemic that we have not faced in our history, COVID-19 pandemic. I am the head of zones, so looking after 14 zones in my country, where 285 export-oriented factories are operating under me. 141,000 employees are there, and under me is about 800 direct workers for BUI to facilitate them. So then, in the second phase of COVID pandemic, we were in a real struggle to treat our people. Day by day, the number of COVID positive patients went up. Then I was in a serious problem. How can I look after my employees? Not only my employees, all the employees of enterprises. 14 zones, 141,000 employees. They all are getting this serious disease day by day. Then one thing what we can do is implement the best practices which have been introduced by the health authorities. That's number one. First, number two, look after them. Then I wanted to start an intermediate care center that is called ICC, Intermediate Care Center for COVID positive patients. With the blessings of health authorities and also with the blessings of our investors. In Sri Lankan rupees, we spent around 30 million for that facility. So we set up 500 bed capacity, one intermediate care center in our one of the zones. So that was a turning point, but To implement this project, I was just given 1 month time. 1 month time, 500 bed capacity. I was having nothing, no doctors, no nurses, even no funds. Then I used my articulation again, connected with my investors. I talked to them and told them, so I'm going to establish an intermediate care center for your people. This is where, my friends, that we can come up with our own words. The persuasion is very important. How can we persuade with our skills that we have taken from Toastmasters? Then I initiated that project and then connected with my investors, then engaged with the activities. That engagement was very successful. As a result, we were in a position to establish this 30 million rupees project in 1 month time. So we are treating daily more than 100, 150 positive patients, positive employees in this facility. That because of the engagement and the connectivity. So my dear friends, being leaders, we always should initiate something new. For that, we have to have our mind free. We have to have a clear vision, and then based on the vision, then we have to work out our mission. And then we have to go for the strategies. For whatever that we are doing, use Toastmaster skills, then only you can be a different person in your professional life. Different human being, of course, because Toastmasters is not only just to develop your communication and leadership skills. You have to become a real person, different person in the community, in the society. That is what Ralph Ismentley has spread in this world, which we all are practicing now, being Toastmasters. Always try to start something new. That is called initiate. Once you initiate, not only that, just keep in what is your imagination, initiation in your mind, but you have to influence people. You have to influence. How can you influence? Talk to their hearts. That talking to hearts is not an easy task. That can be done only if you are using the skills that we gather daily in our club meetings, right? For that, we have to have facts, we have to have emotions, we have to have logics, we have to have the voice variations, we have to have defined spectrum of speeches that depending on the person that we are going to talk about. So this is how I have changed my life as a Toastmaster when I got to know about the Toastmasters 14 years ago, and then I connected with all these activities on daily basis. Try to initiate something new and then connect with the people who are trying to get your service or you to whom you are giving the service. And then engage with those people. That engagement can be done if you are an honest person. That honesty and integrity, credibility, accountability, all this matters for a leader. All this matters for a leader. So if you have that right direction and right enthusiasm, right willingness to serve the community, my humble request, not only try to develop your communication skill or leadership skills as a Toastmaster, try to initiate something and then connect with the people and engage with that connectivity and practice all the core values of Toastmasters in your personal and professional life. My dear friends, remember my three words. Number one is initiate. And then number two is connect. How to connect with that, your imagination and your initiation. And then engage with that. Engage with your imagination. That is what very important as a Toastmaster and as a leader. Remember, this is for your next period of your life and in your every segment of your day-to-day activities. Or to Toastmaster.
What a great speech. Thank you so much, William Lawrence, for sharing all those great insights with us. Three biggest traits or three things that we have to become a great leader. initiate, connect, and engagement. Wow, wonderful. And it's really glad to know about your about all of the members of a family, a true Toastmaster family.
Not
Thank
only
you
that,
again.
my youngest also became a Toastmaster last month.
Yes, that is so nice to hear that. Thank you again. Thank you so much, dear Lawrence, for giving your speech with us today, for sharing all these ideas, experiences with us, and I hope you will join with us again and again. Now it's time for the prepared speech session, and our first prepared speaker is Toastmaster Lasanta Silva. But before calling him, let's call his evaluator, who is DDM Evaluator. DDM Evaluator, please come to the virtual floor and explain the evaluation of Toastmaster Lasanta.
What you are going to see is an anomalous evaluation. I don't know what's going to happen in the minds of the audience today once you see the new type of evaluation. Toastmaster Lasanta Silva, being engaged in the engaging humor pathway, has completed 13 projects. And today is the last day of his pathway. He's delivering the last and the 14th project with the audience, which we call as the reflect on your path. The purpose statements are, the purpose of this project is for the member to reflect on his or her growth during the completion of the entire path. The second one, the purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of his growth during the completion of a path. So the two statements are one for the project, one for the speech. And together with my co-evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster David Schulz, we will be dividing the areas, as I said before, into two, and we will give the evaluation. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Didi Majudaratne. So Toastmaster Lasanta Silva, he is also a mentor of many Toastmasters of Bangladesh, also a mentor for many Toastmaster clubs, and he is also involved in many Toastmaster clubs, Sparkling Advance, Bangladesh, Dhaka Bangladesh Toastmaster Club, and recently Narayanganj Toastmaster Club. Sorry, I forgot the first word of the club name. So today he is going to give his speech on his pathway engaging humor level 5 project about reflect on your path. Speech title is My Journey Towards a Humorous Speaker. My journey towards a humorous speaker, Toastmaster Lasanta Silva. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abu Sadat Masood. Now, this my journey towards a humorous speaker. I know some of you have seen me a very serious person. Even my parents, even my college friends, even before I joined in the Toastmasters, most of them used to told me that I am a very serious nature person. Now you must be thinking that, is this Lasanta is a very serious nature person? You can look at my face and you can judge myself. That was exactly the same. 1 year, 1.5 years before, 1 year before precisely, I started this engaging humor path. It took really 1 year for me to complete the engaging humor path because I felt that I must learn, and there's something me to learn within this engaging humor. Because I used to call myself very serious person. Even I try to make a joke, nobody will laugh. And I try my level best to make the people laugh. But they will ask the question, Lasanta, do you really mean to us to make a smile or laugh? Was it a humor? And frankly saying, dear my friends, it was not that much great time for me as a humorous speaker. After completing 2 parts, I decided I must learn how to make the people laugh. So I selected the path called engaging humor. I wish to share a screenshot of myself when I was a baby till 5 years old. I was like that. Let me share my screen and show you who was we. This was my face. My mom used to tell that, son, you are being a cry boy. At least try to be mature to become a person with a smile. And I was trying to tell you, sir, this was me. This was me before joining Toastmaster. Now you imagine how would I will look like after joining Toastmasters? That was me after joining Toastmasters. Now you must be wondering whether what was the dramatical change that I have been going through in my path to become a person like this. Let me tell you, I started my path with level 1. Now in Toastmasters, you need to deliver the first speech as icebreaker. If I tell you one thing, in Toastmasters, if you start your path, at every time you need to deliver your icebreaker. There is some reason for that. Now, initially I thought I have delivered my icebreaker speech, so why should I deliver for other parts? But there's something special in this path. This icebreaker path requires me to use the humor in my icebreaker speech. So I selected, the title of the speech was A Cry Boy to a Man. Now you must be wondering whether, why I use cry boy to a man? That really tells me, because as I remember, my mom used to say that you were always a cry boy up to the grade 5 and you didn't have any single smile. Now this was a part of thing that I use in my speech, how this cry boy has converted into a dedicated, hardworking, a gentleman. So my friends, moving on this level 1, I go to a certain level, feedback and evaluation. So all projects requires me to add some humor. Can you believe, can you guess what would be my second project feedback and evaluation title? It was Are You a Tube Light? Now you must be wondering whether, what would be that? Because I used to be absent-minded person. So all these humors I could able to make to structure my level 1, to use the humor, to engage the humor with the audience, to make them laugh. Charlie Chaplin once said, it's not easy to make people laugh. But he said, the laugh without a day is a day without a way. Day is the waste. So my friends, the path for the level 1, I realized that it took me to make the people laugh. I took really hard time, but I have really learned the principles of that, because to make the chemistry inside the person, to understand the chemistry, it requires some time. It requires you to understand, to find some ways and means the people will understand how we can make them laugh. But I would say that the engaging humor path, moving on to the level 2, requires you to understand the know your sense of humor at the first speech of the project 1. is really important, because when you try to use the structure, the speech, when you use the content of the speech, because you to use the how to understand the audience, what they looks. Now, you know one, you can make yourself fool and make others laugh, because people will laugh for our faults, but people will never laugh. I will laugh for himself. So you can make that thing happen. So I started learning the projects from a level 2. It was saying the second project was to connect with the audience. I remember I used the title of the speech is Enough is Enough. So all have a different special features that I use on each and every project. Different ways how we can approach the audience to make the people laugh. Now, laughing is something that you can easily do it. There's a way, the process that requires you to understand. It requires you to work more and more practice, requires you to do something differently. I remember one thing. I was in a school one day. My lecturer wanted to tell that you're always making a mistake. So I think there's something wrong in your brain. He said, my friend, your left brain is not right, and the right brain is not in left. So something that to think and to laugh. So these type of sentence, these type of words could use me to understand how it could be used in my project speeches. So my friends, I must tell you one thing. I'm not a very humorous guy, but I was a very serious person. But it requires me to go through my mentors and help me to understand the real chemistry, what behind the humor. I must thankful to DTM Dayaratna. You can look at him, he was a very serious person, but if you start writing speeches, he a humorous speaker. Believe in me, most of the speeches, he converted my serious speeches into a very humorous speeches. Thankful to him, my first speech was a humorous speech. That was the first speech that I delivered in my club contest. From that day onwards, I started learning how to make the people laugh. One thing I have to tell that the way I select the engaging humor path, I have seen most of them have selected the same path. I had the same curiosity. Do that mean everybody wants to learn the humor? My friends, if you want to be a good public speaker, you need to have the good humor in your speech. If you take about all the speeches that has been gone to a level, that requires you to engage with the audience to make the people laugh. Now, I'd like to share a few things with you in my presentation. As I told you, a day without a laughter and the day is wasted. So you must always think about how to make the people laugh. Because why? If I say I've laughed myself, then reflection of yourself, you will also in return will laugh. And for this all level 5 parts, from fundamentals, learning your style, increasing your knowledge, and the building skill and become the expert. So all these level 5s requires you to step-by-step process to learn your engaging humor in yourself. Now, one thing I had to tell that from Charlie Chaplin quote. He says, my pain may be the reason for somebody's laugh, but my laugh must never be the reason for somebody's pain. Because if you are being make myself fool, and if you can see myself is in pain, you will start laughing for my foolish things, whatever thing I have done. Because people used to laugh for some others' fall. This is the chemistry. So if you could make the people laugh in your structure of the speech, you can engage the audience in your speech by using the humor, that is really connecting in audience. My friends, I was thinking with my own development style, one day I can be a humorous speaker. In the process of humorous speaker, I was thinking after my keynote speak, Charlie Chaplin in 1930, 1990, Mr. Bean, and I would be coming soon as a humorous speaker. So with that, I would like to conclude my speech and have a good smile on your face. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lasanta Silva, for sharing such a wonderful, wonderful humorous speech. Yes, I hope that after Mr. Bean, then we will got another worldwide famous funny man who will be Toastmaster Lasanta Silva. Now it's time for the second favorite speaker, who is Toastmaster Abu Shahadat Muhammad Masum, who is actually me. Now let's, before we start the speech, let's welcome DTM Deb to come to the virtual floor and share the objective of Toastmaster Abu Shahadat Muhammad Masum's speech.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. The purpose of Toastmaster Masum's project today is twofold. One is to tell the members clearly what the Toastmasters mentoring program is, or what Toastmasters envisioned by mentoring. The purpose of the speech, though, is for him to talk about an experience where he was a protege, which is he worked with a mentor. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster today.
Thank you so much, DTM Dev, for sharing the objective of Toastmaster Masum's speech. So now our second favorite speaker is Toastmaster Abu Shahadat Muhammad Masum. He is a member of course, this club and also the Bangladesh Youth Toastmaster Club. He is working in digital and operations industry. He loves sports, loves reading books, and of course, after joining Toastmaster, he loves public speaking. He loves to join different Toastmaster club meeting. Today, it's his second pathway. Is the project 3 of level 2. Introduction to Toastmaster mentoring. Abu Shahadat Muhammad Masum. The people who shaped my life. The people who shaped my life, Toastmaster Abu Shahadat Muhammad Masum. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Fellow Toastmasters and guests. This is my second pathway. Before that, I gave another speech on mentoring. On that speech, I only talked about the people who helped me in my career, the people who helped me to improve, to reach my career goal. So at the time, I was only thinking about career. But when this time, I was thinking about writing my speech, then I think that, our career or job is not everything. We have 3 different types of life: personal life, family life, and of course, job life. Then I thought, okay, let this time talk about the people who helped me in my personal life. When I was thinking this, the first person came into my mind is Shuhel Bhai, Mr. Shuhel. I got to know him for around 1.5 to 2 years. After that, our paths became different. We never met. At the time, I was 16, 17, and people of my age, young people, tend to start something wrong, doing something wrong in their life. Some of my friends started to smoking. So Shuel Bhai, he was talking with me one day about sharing me the negative things of smoking. Not only that day, we used to talk, we used to gossip, discuss whatever we do. He used to share something good, how to be a good person, how to be a good human, how to stay away from the bad things. He used to share those with me. And trust me, I have never smoked in my life, and I will never do that. I can tell that about myself. So Shuel Bhai, he helped me to become a non-smoker. The second person I like to talk about Jahid Bhai. He was 3 years senior than me in my university life. You know, when I first started my university, I was shy, I was afraid of, I was feeling a little bit of, introvert, and I had a shield around me. I was a good cricketer, but I was not using those to make friends. Then though Rashid Bhai, he helped me a lot. He talked with me, he involved me in a team. Not only this, he helped me, shared me his experience, taught me how to talk with my friends, how to make new friends, how to talk with the seniors, how to talk with the teachers. He made my university life easy, and those lessons still help me. Now let's talk about the biggest mentor of my life. And who is that? It's my father. Like all of us, the biggest mentor of my life is my father. He always tells me that your head, your pain. If you have a headache, if you feel pain in your head, no one else will feel it. Only you will feel it. So it's your life. You need to know what you will do with your life. You need to work hard. Why? It's your life. Your worries are only yours. No one will take your worries. He not only told me all of this, he showed me with his life how to be honest, how to deal honesty, how to maintain a good connection with the family members, with my friends, how to help people, and how to maintain good connection with everybody. He is the biggest mentor of my life. He always communicated with me, share his experience, share his struggles, and help me in every way. My father is so good with his mother, my grandmother, my grandfather. Those things taught me a lot with my mother. And now that I am married, now that I have started a family, he always suggests me, mentored me in many ways. And last person I like to talk about is my friend Shuhel. You know, from the moment he got to know that I am going to get married, he made himself a mentor of me. He started to suggest me, sharing me what you need to do before marriage, what you need to do after the marriage. But it's only second month of my marriage. I'm still on over the moon. But if in future I might need some suggestions of anybody, a mentor, Shuel is there. He will help me. He might be a mentor of me for my future life. So these are some of the people who helped me to shape my life better, to have a quality life, to have a better life. And I hope their suggestions, I will have a better life and future in future. So back to you. Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abu Shahid Muhammad Nassim, for your wonderful speech, for sharing all these real life experiences with all of us. And let's conclude the prepared speech session of our today's club meeting. And it's time for the most exciting part of any Toastmaster club meeting, which is table topic speech. And to maintain the session, there is a table topic master. And our today's table topic master is Toastmaster Nasir Siddiqui. Toastmaster Nasir Siddiqui, the virtual floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. So actually, today is a high voltage game. It's hard to concentrate on today's meeting, to be really honest, if you are a cricket lover. Anyway, but we are Toastmasters. No matter what happens outside, we are always dedicated to Toastmasters. So as you all know, the life is all about improvisation. You all have plan, but nothing and not every time your plan works. Sometimes you have to improvise something based on the situation, according to situation. So that is what is happening in cricket. The bowler have a plan, the batsmen have a plan. So in our life, we also face this scenario. So when the purpose of Toastmasters table topic session is that we try to think ourselves on fit and give something based on urgent situation. So as you know, in an impromptu segment, you'll be given a topic that is unrehearsed and without expectation. So what I want you to do is, first of all, listen what I ask, think about the topic, then organize your thought and deliver your speech. So I need some volunteers to play this segment. Who is the brave soul here? Who is interested to take part in the table topic session? Lasanda Silva.
Okay.
All right. So suppose you are in a situation that you need 20 runs, but you have only 3 balls. How do you achieve that? 20 runs in 3 balls. Toastmaster Lasanta.
Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. 20 runs in 3 balls. Why should we break our brains by achieving that one? Because we know the maximum runs you can get for 3 balls is 18 runs. Unless you had to have a faith on the bowler to make a no ball or a wide ball, to make an additional runs. You may not be able to achieve a 20 runs. So my question again for you all, are we going beyond something that we could not be able to control by ourselves? Or we are being there to put it ourselves, have a peace of mind, whatever things we could do by ourselves. Most of the time we think, whatever things, uncontrollable things that we cannot do it. We are not thinking about what we could do to live in a moment to make it happy life. So my friends, 20 runs in a 3 balls to make maximum. I will try my best to play maximum what I could do, but will be happy by myself if I could be able to get the maximum runs with ease. I could able to control within myself, which is my capacity. So my friends, I request you to do the same thing. Whatever things you can control you by yourself, make it attempt. Which is not whatever things which is cannot be controlled, which is uncontrollable even, that you're not able to have a faith on it. With that in mind, I will hand it over to Table Topics Master of the Day. Over to you.
Excellent job done by Toastmaster and cricketer La Santa Silva. That was what I was expecting from you. You just do your best and God will. And if you think in the beginning, 18 rounds in 3 balls is just not possible, but you are out of the game. But you just take 18 runs, there might be something unnatural happen and you get the target. So thank you very much. Now I need one more volunteer, the last volunteer actually, to take part in this session. I need someone who is interested. Please raise your hand. Grammarian Daw Singh, are you interested?
Okay, pleasure. I'm here.
All right. So the topic for you is, if you would be animal, which animal would that be? If you are an animal, not like human being, which animal would that be and why?
That's really an interesting question. Obviously, I would choose bird because it looks really interesting, and the most important thing is whenever I wake up in the morning, I love listening to the birds. They are chirping and they are singing. They're doing something else. Especially when I sit in my balcony, I can see they are spending time. They're chirping. Actually, it really. I mean, I feel so better, and it really heals my. If I feel sufferings, obviously heals my pain. In that sense, whenever I see them, I feel like I am much more free, and they are just doing their task. They don't have any kind of sufferings. They don't have any pain. By this way, I feel like if I have any chance to be an animal, I would definitely choose bird, because by this way I can fly here and there. I can meet with my friends, with my loved ones, and so many. In this sense, another thing is they don't have anything to worry about. It's true that there are so many animals apart from birds, but especially the tiny birds, I like them very much. That's why, because of the nature, they have feathers, because of their tiny legs. It really, these all are really interesting to me. That's why I'd love to choose birds as an if I get chance to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Day Song. It was amazing, because whenever I ask people about this question, maximum say they want to be lion, they want to be tiger, and never heard someone say they want to be bird. Actually, it's interesting, because when you become bird, you have the freedom to fly in the sky. So I really loved about your improvisation and the way you expressed your thought. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster D Song. So that is all from my side as a table topic master. I return the control of the meeting to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abu Sadat Masum. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nasir. Those are some wonderful topic, and our speakers are really excellent. Thank you for wonderfully maintaining the session. Now it's time for the most important part of any Toastmaster Club meeting, which is evaluation session. And the person who will handle this session is the general evaluator, and our today's general evaluator is DTM Carl. DTM Carl, the virtual floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Welcome, fellow Toastmasters. Now we begin the evaluation. As everyone knows, evaluation consists of evaluators of prepared speeches, the grammarian and outcome reports, and the timer reports. And then a final evaluation of the meeting by me. So let's begin with the evaluation of our first speaker. The first speaker was Toastmaster Lasantha Silva. And as we've talked about, we are breaking into two parts, content and delivery. Handling the content portion is Distinguished Toastmaster H.B. Dayaratne.
To begin the anomalous evaluation session, the first time in our meeting, let's join me to congratulate Toastmaster Lasantha Silva for completing the engaging humor pathway with his speech today. My purpose is to evaluate the contents part of the speech, mainly the development, the effectiveness, and the speech value. If I start with the first good feature that I have seen in Toastmaster Lasantha's speech is the development, the structure he had, the way that he organized the material in the speech. If I give one example, the way he started explaining the how serious person he was, and then even if he wanted to crack a joke, the audience will not laugh, and then how he converted. And he explained before joining Toastmasters and after joining Toastmasters using visuals, two nice visuals. So that was wonderful. And if I talk about the support materials, you have taken different projects in different levels in the engaging humor pathway. And you explain how you connected that with humor, starting by having a proper topic, proper title for the speech to connect with the audience in a humorous way at the very beginning. So that was done wonderfully. And the audience were fully ready to receive what you were telling. I have been observing the audience as well to see the audience response and how they receive your message. And I felt that they have grabbed whatever you want to pass effectively. And the ideas and the thoughts were original. It's your own examples. And you have lined them up in a logical way. So that was done to the best there. With my experience, if you are doing a similar speech in future, I can just give a couple of recommendations where you can improve the level or change the level of the speech to a better one. If I think about the opening again, you explain going from serious to humorous. Now, if it was me, probably I could have started by sharing a very short story, which was actually happened to me in my Toastmasters career, in which I was trying to give a humorous speech and the audience spent like throughout the speech. I have plenty of examples. I know you also have plenty of examples of that nature. So if you have taken the real story that happened to you, take 1 to 1.5 minutes to give that story. The connectivity, the bond could have been at a better level. The second one that I can give is, in conclusion, if you have selected 1 or 2 items from your speech and explain how well you benefited from that to become humorous, giving the specific points, that could have been wonderful. So summarizing, the development, effectiveness, speech value was at the best, and you reached the project objectives, the purpose statements, and with the two recommendations I made, being specific for benefits and having a real story, demonstrating or dramatizing it at the beginning could have been a better speech. Back to you, General Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Kalbaski.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dayarati. Now, discussing the delivery aspects of Toastmaster Lasanta's speech, please welcome Dave Schultz.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and Toastmaster Silva. The speech delivery was great. The main things that I would focus on in terms of that statement, great. One is the words that he used were clear and understandable, and he enunciated his words very well. So we got the message throughout his whole speech. He combined that with maintaining eye contact with the audience through the camera. I saw him looking out straight and looking at my eyes, I guess you'd say, in terms of his speech. And he did that throughout the whole speech. And this was even true when he went to the sharing the pictures of Charlie Chaplin and when he was a baby. So those things help bring home the point. He used hand gestures effectively to emphasize various points that were very effective, I thought. Now, in the vocal variety was interesting. He didn't use real high voice, but he did come close to the camera to emphasize some key points that he wanted to make. And so that vocal variety came out very well. And I thought also that he was effective in tying in the quote and the joke about the brain, the size of the brain. So all those were very effective in terms of his delivery. A couple of things that I would say would make his speech stronger in terms of delivery. And some may be a little difficult to do because of the way with his listening device there. But I would hope that he could do this next speech in a standing position and be able to use body movements more effectively as he transitions from one thought to another. So as he went from like level 1 to level 2, he could have moved his body, and that would have emphasized a little clearer the transition that he was making there. The next point I'd say is in terms of vocal variety, there were some opportunities missed because particularly when he was discussing the comments from his mother about him being, when he was a child, I think that he could have used just a slightly different voice to be his mother's voice, which would have been an interesting change of variety, and it would have helped us kind of transition from the one person to the next. So those are the thoughts that I have of thought delivery that you could do, and I thought was a great speech. I enjoyed it very well. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dave Schultz. Now I'm going to introduce Toastmaster Dave Schultz again with respect to the second speech by Toastmaster Abu Saadat Masoom, in this case, he'll be doing the content portion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and Toastmaster Masoom. I thought he did a great job in terms of laying out the purpose of his speech and talking about the various people that helped him along the way, of which he was a protege for. And I thought he accomplished that speech objective effectively. Now, of course, there's always some opportunities to even make it stronger. Again, he does the speech only in one position, moving different positions as you change from one person to another could have helped. But the point is that sometimes we miss who the specific person is and what the role of that person is when you come in real quickly and just say the first person did this. I mean, we don't really know you that well, so it would help maybe to explain a little more who that person is. Clearly, when you got to talking about your father and your grandparents, it was a much clearer and much more understandable. Now, the one thing that I would say would add to the points that you were making about how the people helped is to come up with a specific anecdote. I'm using the wrong word, but especially story about what they actually did in a particular case that would reinforce how they were a mentor, how you changed your approach because of what they provided to you. So these were things that I think could make it a little bit stronger, but I enjoyed that part of it. Now, the one thing I would say, the project is supposed to ask for a study of what the difference is between Toastmasters mentoring and coaching. I didn't really hear that as part of the presentation. So I would say that could have added to the speech a little bit and help us understand what the role of a mentor is a longer term thing, and coaching is a point that you make for a particular activity. And I think that we as Toastmasters are all coaches, but special people are mentors because they stay with the person all along. But overall, you did a wonderful job in your speech and I enjoyed it. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you. And now providing delivery evaluation for our second speaker, Toastmaster H.P. Dayaratne.
Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mazoon. Your face tells that you are satisfied with your delivery. And me too. Due to 3 reasons. Number 1, you wear in a formal way, not like a t-shirt that I am wearing. And you are talking about the mentoring. Your dress, how you dressed, how you posed in front of the camera, and all that was supporting this type of a speech. And number 2, if I talk about the volume or the voice, the flexibility and the volume, you maintain an audible level of the volume throughout your speech. And there had been few instances where you lowered it whenever necessary and also raised it whenever necessary. And the voice was flexible, or better, I would say the voice was not rigid. And the number 3 that I would like was the most important thing that I saw in your speech in delivering, because I had the confidence that you were well prepared for the speech and you were confident in your delivery and you knew what was coming up next. And there were no hesitation between the sentences or between the different sections of the speech. The flow was smooth. It means that you have done your homework and you had the confidence and you knew what you were talking about. And that is a very essential thing in any speech. And that had been a supporting factor for us to believe, to accept, or to admit what you mentioned. Now, this strong belief that we had in your speech can be brought to the next level as well. I can share a couple of things with you which you can apply in any kind of a speech when you deliver in future. Number one is about the positioning of the camera. For example, if you are using a mobile phone, it is always better that you maintain that in the horizontal way so that the room for you to play is wider. When you have it in this way, in the vertical way, the room is very narrow, so your movements are restricted. For example, now I have freedom to go back. I have freedom to play around with my hand gestures. So first thing I suggest that one, and think about planning. How do you use different parts of the virtual screen for different segments? The second recommendation is, I told that you had the flexibility in your voice. You had 3 different characters and you tried to use 3 voices for that. That was good. When you come to the last one, if I use your third person, the biggest mentor, if you use a low, deep volume, the third person, the biggest mentor in my life, my father. So with the facials, with a deep voice, you could have given more power to that particular character who probably have benefited you most as the mentor. So having the proper posture for the speech with the dressing and confidence you displayed and the flexibility in the voice, if you can add these through with the eye contact and the screen and add some power to special characters, definitely will give you the next ability for you to go to the next level of the speech. Back to you, General Evaluator, Distinguished Master Kalbaski. Before I hand it over to you, Distinguished Toastmaster Kalbaski, I would like to make a request. The grammarian need to leave the meeting a little bit early. So if we can call the grammarian as the first member of your team, that will be a great help for her. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. By the way, we don't have a table topics evaluator today, so we are skipping that. So now the grammarian's reports from Toastmaster Dasing. Please come to the lectern.
Thank you again. I'm sorry that I'm leaving early because I came at home and my parents are just asking me to have dinner together. Okay, so in today's session, I noticed some grammar errors, and to be very honest, the session was really impactful for me because this is the first time I met diverse people, and you all are from diverse backgrounds, so it was really a learning phase for me. Anyways, so I'm going to present my observations in today's session. Firstly, one of the speaker, he mentioned that mentor help. So mentor is singular. Instead of mentor help, we would say mentor helps. And the second one, some idea. One of the speakers said some idea. It would be some ideas, as idea is a noun and you are using some. So in that case, it would be some ideas. The third one, before start the speech. Someone has mentioned before start the speech. So instead of before start the speech, we can say before starting the speech. The next one, mentor me in many ways, as we are using many. In that case, we would say many ways because many itself plural form. So we have to also use ways. The next one, I have attended different conference. As you are saying different, in that case, you would say different conferences. The next one, we all of is in pandemic. as you are mentioning we. We is plural form, and in that case, we would say we all are. Instead of using is, we have to use are. The next one, how can we connect is. I mean, one of the speaker, he mentioned, how can we connect is. I suppose he tried to connect two sentences. This is called embedded sentence when we connect two or three sentences. So by this way, we can say how we can connect is. If we use in question, in that case, we can use how can we connect. But as as we are using in assertive sentence or affirmative sentence, so we have to say how we can connect is ... That means I'm using this how. In this sentence, how is not the question mark, question word. The next one, bowler have a plan or batsman have a plan. So in this case, batsman or bowler, this is singular. So we have to use has. If we use singular noun, so we have to also use singular verb. And if we use plural verb, plural noun, we have to use plural verb. So these were my overall observations in today's session. And thank you so much for giving me the chance. And again, I am really sorry that I'm leaving so early. I hope we will be meeting again in next session or later. Thank you so much. Over to you, General Evaluator. And good night to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dawson. Now for our time for our our counters report. TM Archana, please come to the lectern. Thank you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So today is my duty is reporting, presenting the R counter report for the day. Sparkler DTM Lawrence has one filler which is ish and spread. So, Toastmaster Mazu, during his Toastmaster of the Day role, he used you 2 times and of the 2 times. Toastmaster Latsanta, during his prepared speech, this was 2 times. And during the table topic session, Toastmaster Rasanta, there is no harsh of filler words or clutch words during his table topics pages. And Toastmaster Do Singh, I hope I pronounced correctly. She didn't have any harsh clutch words or filler words. During the evaluation session, DTM HP Dayaratna sir, there is no harsh or filler words or clutch words during his evaluation. And DTM Dave also, he didn't have any harsh or clutch words or filler words during his evaluation report. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. And now for our timers report, Toastmaster Chaturani Gunathelake.
Today's timers report. For the prepared speech session, Sparkler 15 minutes and 12 seconds. Prepared speech 1, Toastmaster Lasantha 12 minutes and 24 seconds. Toastmaster Abu 7 minutes and 29 seconds. For the evaluations, Toastmaster Lasantha's speech evaluation content part DTM Dayaratna 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Delivery DTM David 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Second speech content DTM David 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Delivery DTM HP Dayaratna 4 minutes and 6 seconds. For the table topic session, Toastmaster Lasantha 1 minute and 47 seconds. Toastmaster Dave's seeing 1 minute and 39 seconds. That's all. I will send it to chat box also. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Now, for my general evaluation of the meeting. I think we came very close to starting on time. That's good. I encourage those of you who come in at very close to the beginning or even after it to try to get here at least 5 minutes early. I felt that the flow of this meeting was smoother than I've seen in the past. And let's give some credit to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mazoom, for that this was as smooth as it was. Some things I think that would make the meeting work better. The word of the day on the agenda did not match the word of the day that was announced by the grammarian. Let's work on coordinating it. I know that at least one speaker used the printed word of the day. And actually I did myself first before I realized what the word of the day was going to be. So either it should be the same or it should not be on the agenda and just introduced. The speakers did a great job and they got really good evaluations. The table topics worked out very well. I encourage that something that's done in my home club, which is we just call on people, preferably people who do not have a speaking role in the meeting, instead of asking for volunteers. Another thing I noticed is that there were a few occasions where people did not have their video on. If at all possible, when you're speaking, have your video on. And one other thing about video, it works better if you have a light in front of you. If you don't, it's hard to see you. All in all, I thought it was a really great meeting, and it looks like we're about to end very close to time. Now, it says according to the agenda that I am to return the control of the meeting to the president at this time. Is that correct?
No,
Or am I supposed to give it back to the Toastmaster? Toastmaster of the day? Okay, so back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, ATM Carl, for your wonderful general evaluation. Also, thanks to all of you, all the auxiliary role players, all the evaluators, all the prepared speakers, everybody, guests, and all of you for joining today. We had a wonderful meeting today. And I think that's the end part of me as the Toastmaster of the day. Thanks to all of you again. Now I am returning the control to our CUP President, Toastmaster Sabita Binti Al-Shifa.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abu Sadat Masum, for taking this meeting in a wonderful way. And I would like to thank all my club members and the role players to play and run the meeting in a smoother way. And we can see that with us, some of our guests joined. So our Toastmaster Chaturani, I would like to request her share her views, how much she liked our meeting and anything she wants to say to us.
Thank you, President. With compared to our club and your club, totally different because you are advanced Toastmasters club. I experience most majorly sparkler speech. It is very special, and evaluation sessions. It is totally different from our normal clubs, and I also learned new things, unlearn things, and while doing timer roles also. Those are the most important parts in your meeting. In addition to that, I observed that the word of the day and theme of the day, if we could use more and more, it is beneficial. And wish you all the best for your club. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chaturani. And your timing report was very specific, and we would like to see you more and more with us in our meeting. Thank you. And we can see Toastmaster Imon Hussain. He is the president of Cox's Bazar Toastmasters Club. He has joined with us. I would like to request Toastmaster Imon to share his view.
Thank you so much. So I would like to request you to allow me in speaking with invisible video mode, if you allow. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to me, and I'm privileged to have invited in tonight's meeting. And thank you, Toastmaster Masum Pune, for inviting me. But unfortunately, I couldn't join on time, as I was in outside of my home. So unfortunately, I missed. Hopefully, next meeting I will enjoy first to last. And thank you so much, and all the members and executive committee are so much lovely. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Imon. He is a very good friend of mine and our Toastmaster Abu Sadat Masum. We have visited his club in Cox's Bazar as well. So we have heard that the leading Toastmaster Lawrence's speech. He is not there. Is there any guest left? No, I don't think so. So with that, I would like to conclude officially our